Happy Friday and welcome back to Mommy's on a Call. I'm going to be popping in every Friday with what I'm calling at the moment just a Friday Live or Friday 5. I'm not really sure yet, but it's kind of like a Mommy's on a quick call, which is something that from the week that's been on my mind, or a tip or trick or some small tidbit that I can infuse every single week. And I'm going to be filming these live on Instagram on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I thought it'd be fun to do a live, and that way I can interact with anyone in my audience. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, feel free to pop into my live, send me a comment, a DM, interact with me on that so that I can get any sort of feedback or also just answer any questions you might have. I thought it'd be fun to do this quick little segment and then air it on the podcast on Friday. So, the episode I'm playing today, I filmed a couple days ago, and it was all just about consistency. And so, moving forward, I'm just going to be bringing to you these short little tidbits. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to Mommy's on a Call, your sacred space to laugh, learn, and feel like a real grown up human for a hot minute. I'm Stephanie Uchima Carney, a mom of 3 under 6, serial entrepreneur, business strategist, and donut connoisseur, just trying to get through the day one cold cup of coffee at a time. I believe that with more intention, a positive mindset, and self-care, it is possible to thrive in motherhood, business, and life. My mission is to uncover the daily rituals, life lessons, real-life tactics, and favorite tools to inspire and empower you, mommy, to get the most out of life every single unpredictable day. So grab your headphones, tell your kids you're on the potty, and tune in weekly for some laughs, knowledge bombs, and plenty of real talk with real moms, and maybe a dad or two. Welcome to the Mommy Pod. Hi! Okay, I think I'm live. I have not gone live on any sort of social media platform in so long. And so I thought I'd pop in here because I've been thinking a lot about social media and kind of my relationship with it. I've had this huge love-hate relationship with especially Instagram recently because I just don't know what to do with it. So I was having a conversation with my friend Danielle, and she inspired me to really go live. And I was starting to think about okay, what is wrong with Instagram? Why don't I want to post on Instagram recently? And it's because I really have no idea what I wanted to use the platforms for. So for those of you who follow me on my personal account, I post all the time, stories all the time. I indulge my children on there. But on here, my public profile, I didn't know what to do. And so I started thinking about it, and what I really miss is the interaction with my community, interaction with people. And through my podcast, Mommy's on a Call, I'm able to have conversations and interviews, but I don't get to talk to my audience. I don't get to communicate with them. I don't get to share things and answer questions and have real-time conversation, which is what I love doing so much. And so I thought it'd be really fun to I used to do this thing called Confessions of a Mompreneur, and that was every Wednesday I would go on Facebook Live and talk about just a random topic that was on my mind, like boundaries or having, a VBAC or whatever that was. And so I would pop in every Wednesday, I'd have this live, and it was a fun thing. And then in the future, I started a podcast. But I've had this problem of doing solo podcasts. When I get a microphone in front of me, I get so nervous and I can't talk to a computer. But when someone's out there, I feel like I'm actually having a conversation with you. So I thought it'd be fun to do maybe a solo podcast on Wednesdays on Instagram Live and then publish it on Fridays. So these are going to be kind of short tidbits of tips, tricks, tactics, things that are on my mind this week that can help you in either business, motherhood, whatever that might be. So I hope that kind of gave a little bit of why I'm starting to pop in live. Today, I think I want to talk about consistency. And it's been one of those topics that I literally have had the first topic on that I wanted to talk about for my solo podcast was going to be that. And every time I tried to record, I literally had an outline of stuff and I just couldn't do it. I kept trying to speak into the microphone and then having to pause and edit. And so here goes. And so if you're listening to this on my podcast, Mommy's on a Call, just know this came from an Instagram Live. So if the sound quality is terrible, don't judge because this is on my phone. All right, so consistency. For the longest time, I always had this like fear and overwhelm when I wanted to do something big. So for example, my podcast, I always wanted to have a podcast. I actually started that idea in 2017 and really didn't fully launch it till 2020. So what took so long? Really, it was the daunting idea that I had so much to do for it. Like, how do you publish the podcast? What's the tech about? What's all of these different things? And when I started to break it down into really small bite-sized bits, and just took one small step at a time, it became a lot easier. And so I guess with consistency, I want to back up and say like doing small wins every single week, whether it's like literally like pushing record once or doing a, one post once, just doing small steps and breaking down that big daunting task into little things helps make it easier. So for example, I was never a meditator. In 2017, I went on this retreat and I literally was like, I've never sat down for more than 5 minutes to meditate. Like that is just something I do not do. But I knew it would be good for me. And so I'm like, what can I do to like start meditating? So I downloaded an app. That was like step number one. And then I was like, I'm gonna allow myself 5 minutes a day. So I started doing 5 minutes a day. I missed a couple days here and there, but I was like, no, I have to do 5 minutes a day. You can find 5 minutes a day to do this. And so I put an alarm. I did it when I woke up. And all of a sudden, I literally just looked at my meditation app and I'm at something like 1,100 days straight. And I'm not even kidding. And gamifying something like that for me was helpful because I know if I gamify something and I compete kind of against myself, I'm able to accomplish something better. So by gamifying meditation, I was able to accomplish 5 minutes a day every morning. And now I'm at like 1,100 days straight of meditation. Then going back to like the podcast. So I started in 2020 and how did I keep going? I was like, okay, if I batch this and I make sure I'm just going to release one episode a week. That's all I'm asking. One episode, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's a 45-minute interview, one episode a week, because it's all about consistency. It's all about getting that special little win, one step at a time. And so I started in 2020. I published my first one, my second one, my third one. And now I'm approaching 100 episodes. And those are 100 episodes of almost 45-minute interviews. Some weeks I did 2, some weeks I did 3, and some weeks I did 1. But I tried to stay consistent. And so I looked back at when I was doing my Facebook Lives and I said, every Wednesday, I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to do it every single Wednesday, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And so it's taking those very, very small steps and not having this be a huge, big task. And so if you make that commitment to yourself to stay consistent and just pick one thing that you can do, then you'll all of a sudden get these small wins. And those small wins will snowball into a bigger win. And so like, look, for example, I have thousands and thousands of downloads on my podcast. I already hit a year. I'm almost at 100 episodes. And through that, I've met so many amazing people. And if I didn't have a commitment to staying consistent every single week, that wouldn't happen. And all of a sudden I look back, I'm like, how did I do that? And it's literally like one step at a time. So I guess my advice for today is try to stay consistent, even if it's a small win, because all small wins matter. And make sure that you don't overwhelm yourself with all the things. We want to do great big things, but sometimes we need to break it down and make it into bite-sized, tangible pieces. So that's all I wanted to say for today. This will air on the podcast on Friday. And I'm going to try and do like once a week live in order to publish on Friday on my podcast. And if you want to interact here on Instagram Live, join me on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can ask me questions. You can just come in and say hi. I would love to meet anyone who listens to the podcast. And if you don't, head over to anywhere you can listen to podcasts. It's Mommy's on a Call. And I do have a Mommy's on a Call Instagram account, but I rarely publish on that. Again, I'm trying to figure out my goal for 2022 is to really streamline things and simplify and figure out, where I want to spend my time. And right now, I think it's just going to be on this channel. And so come join me at Stephanie Uchima on Instagram. Feel free to send me a DM. Feel free to join me on live, and then head over and subscribe or follow the podcast. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Mommy's on a Call. Your support means the absolute world to me. You can find the show notes for this episode and other goodies over at mommysonacall.com. And if you enjoyed this episode or have gotten value from the podcast, I would be so grateful if you could head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and review so that we can reach and empower more moms all over the world together. Thank you so much again, Mommy Pod, and I will see you here next time.